Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard. I want to talk to you today about some of the controversial research on coffee. You know, recently some amazing research has been done on the benefits of coffee. For example, you drink 1 cup of coffee a day, you reduce the risk of diabetes by 13%. You drink 12 cups of coffee a day, you reduce your risk of diabetes by 67%. You drink 6 cups of coffee a day, you reduce the risk of very severe prostate cancer by 40%. You drink 5 cups of coffee a day for 5 weeks, you start to reverse the effects of Alzheimer's. You drink 4 cups of coffee, you actually begin to decrease the risk of liver cirrhosis by a whopping 84%. You drink 5 cups of coffee, you reduce your risk of Parkinson's by 60%. And if you drink 1 to 3 cups of coffee, you reduce your risk of dying of cardiovascular disease by 24%. That's a lot of coffee, but an amazing benefit. On the other side of the aisle, you have a host of research that says that coffee is in fact harmful. It increases cortisol level. It increases stress-fighting hormones. They're degenerative hormones that break the body down. It decreases the production of the good hormones like DHEA that improve cognitive function and memory and help us cope and deal with stress. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Coffee raises cholesterol, raises blood pressure. It damages the nervous system. It damages the DNA. It increases inflammation. It raises homocysteine levels. It increases gastric reflux and even affects your sleep and even causes erectile dysfunction and low libido. There's a lot of studies that show that coffee is terrible for you. And there's a lot of studies that say coffee is the most phenomenal medicine for you. So how do you figure it out? I'd like to offer you an Ayurvedic perspective, maybe a logical perspective. I believe that every food on this planet is here for a reason. Some are foods and some are medicines. And I believe coffee is a medicine. I mean, clearly it has medicinal effects. It's well documented. Nobody can dispute that. There's over 1,000 constituents in coffee. It is loaded with antioxidants that we don't even know about or haven't even discovered or heard of yet. It is one potent little bean. It has powerful beneficial effects. And you know, in all these studies, it didn't really matter that much whether it was caffeinated or decaffeinated. Still the benefits were there. So coffee has something special to it. As a medicine, I think it can be used as a medicine. From the Ayurvedic perspective, it's a stimulant. It stimulates your body to make energy which you may not have. It's something that if you go to the bank and borrow $5, eventually the bank is going to want to get paid back. So if you drink a cup of coffee every day and make energy which you don't really have, you could go into debt. And eventually the body could wear out and run down. It could stimulate you to make an emergency response, possibly even a medicinal response, but is that going to be sustainable for the long term? That's really the ultimate question. Now, I always like to look back and go, hey, how did the people do it traditionally? Well, you know, traditionally people had coffee with their meal. They had it after the meal. A little espresso after the meal acts as a digestive stimulant. It stimulates the digestive system and helps us digest better. That's something that I think has some potential value. Having that same cup of coffee on an empty stomach for breakfast in the morning to give you energy which you don't really have is going to drive your adrenals to go into debt. It's going to exhaust you, and it possibly could cause be the reason why we have this litany of degenerative symptoms associated with coffee drinking. And that emergency response may be the exact reason why it has this phenomenal medicinal response when you're drinking like 12 cups of coffee. Did you notice the dosages on the benefits were very, very high, almost medicinal dosages? Maybe this is a substance that was used for medicinal purposes. You know, in Ayurveda, we have certain body types too. There are Vata body types who are very nervous and they think fast and they worry fast. Boy, do they really need a stimulant? They're already going 90 miles an hour in their head, can't stop thinking, can't stop worrying anyway. This is not going to be the best medicine for them. The fiery, aggressive Pitta types who are very competitive and driven, they don't need to be driven to be more competitive. They actually need to chill and relax, and coffee may overdrive them. Plus, coffee is extremely acidic, and it can irritate the intestinal mucosa and inflame the body, something that a person with a lot of heat in their body doesn't really need. Now, the kapha, easygoing, mellow, calm, hypometabolic constitution, sometimes a little coffee may be used as medicine for them. But the reality is that in Ayurveda, the main goal, the main theme of Ayurveda is to turn this crazy mind off and turn the volume down and create silence. And in that silence, the body can see more clearly, be more aware of itself, recognize problems as problems, and begin to initiate a healing response so the body can take care of itself. Coffee tends to stimulate more activity, more thinking, more worry, and therefore can maybe overrule the body's ability to be silently aware of itself and then possibly heal itself. Coffee, from the Ayurvedic perspective, is a very dehydrating beverage. It's a bowel irritant, irritates the gut wall, produces potential reactive mucus, which can bog down the villi of your intestinal tract from functioning optimally. It's extremely acidic, and it can aggravate the stomach mucosa and the intestinal mucosa, and it can drive your body into exhaustion. It can be great to get you up a tree to save your life, but maybe long term, this should be reserved for medicinal use only, or use it on occasion after a large meal. I'm not a big fan of using it every day, but I don't see any reason why we can't have it on occasion, once in a while, and get away with it. And if we really need it as medicine, I think the research is still, there's a lot more to come to really give us more understanding about this amazing bean. And like I said, there's over 1,000 constituents. I don't think the full story is in yet, but we do know that stimulating the body excessively, logically, is really a free lunch. Think about it. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.